Good evening. This is All India Radio, and I am Lalema Aneja Dang, and with me is Abhijit Loreng with the evening news. The headlines. President Ramnath Kovind praises Corona warriors, says they went much beyond their call of duty to save lives and ensure essential services. President says India continues to engage with world economy while maintaining its identity through Atmanirbharta. Nation gears up for 74th Independence Day celebrations tomorrow. New Delhi welcomes normalization of relations between UAE and Israel. And in Rajasthan, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot wins motion of confidence through voice vote. President Ramnath Kovind hailed the efforts of the centre, the state and the union territories in effective management of COVID-19. Addressing the nation on the eve of the 74th Independence Day today, Mr. Kovind said that the celebrations this year will be restrained due to the global pandemic. He praised the efforts of Corona warriors who went much beyond their call of duty to save lives and ensure essential services. He said, for a country so vast and diverse with high population density, effective management and containment of the coronavirus required superhuman efforts.
For a country so vast and diverse with high population density, meeting this challenge requires superhuman efforts. All state governments took measures in accordance with local circumstances. People also supported wholeheartedly. With our committed efforts, we have succeeded in containing the magnitude of the pandemic and saving a large number of lives.
The President remembered the freedom fighters and martyrs in his speech, whose sacrifices, he said, have enabled countrymen to live in an independent nation. He said India's visionary leaders brought together a diversity of worldviews to forge a common national spirit. Remembering Mahatma Gandhi, the President said that his teachings will remain relevant forever and will guide the world in years to come. Referring to the natural disasters due to cyclone and flood in the northeastern and eastern states, the President said that through collaborative efforts, all sections of society have been working to help those in distress. Mr. Kovind asserted that in the fight against the pandemic, ensuring life and livelihood to every citizen holds key importance. He lauded the timely welfare measures introduced by the government along with virus containment efforts which enabled crores of people to earn their livelihood and mitigate their distress. Mr. Kovind highlighted some of the flagship schemes of the government, including Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, One Nation, One Ration Card, Vande Bharat Mission and Shramik Special Trains, among others, which he said have eased people's lives amid these testing times. Reaffirming India's belief in the principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the President said that the country, apart from taking care of its own citizens, also extended a helping hand to many foreign countries. He said the overwhelming support India got at the elections for the non-permanent seat of the United Nations Security Council bears testimony to the goodwill the country enjoys internationally. Speaking about the impetus to self-reliance, Mr. Kovind said that India's push to Atmanirbharta comes without alienation or distancing from the world.
It has been the tradition of India that we do not just live for ourselves, but work for the well-being of the entire world. India's self-reliance means being self-sufficient without alienating or creating distance from the world. It implies that India will continue to engage with the world economy while maintaining its identity.
Hinting at the recent border skirmishes, Mr. Kovind said that Indian soldiers gallantly defended the borders of the country from all misadventures of expansion. He remembered the martyrs who sacrificed their lives protecting the nation's pride and said that the entire nation salutes them for their bravery. Speaking about the new education policy, Mr. Kovind said that its implementation will lead to a new quality education system. It will help transform the future challenges into opportunities, paving the way for a new India. He also lauded the unflinching belief of countrymen in the judicial system, which he said was depicted in the restraint and patience shown by people during the long-drawn Ayodhya Ram Janmabhoomi case. Mr. Kovind wished for universal good health and urged everyone to continue to maintain caution and act responsibly in order to defeat the menace of coronavirus.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu greeted people on the eve of Independence Day. He conveyed his greetings and good wishes to the people of the country. On the occasion, he paid tributes and remembered the brave freedom fighters who made countless sacrifices to build an independent nation. In his address on the eve of the 74th Independence Day celebrations, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has assured the armed forces that the government is doing all that is required to maintain the morale high and meet the operational requirements. He said, if any enemy country attacks India, then it will be given a befitting reply. The Defence Minister also paid tributes to Indian soldiers who sacrificed their lives in the Galwan Valley in Ladakh and assured their family members that the entire country is standing with them.
The nation will celebrate the 74th Independence Day tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unfurl the national flag and address the nation from the ramparts of the iconic monument. Security has been tightened in the national capital in view of the celebrations. A full dress rehearsal was held at the Red Fort yesterday for the celebrations. Our correspondent has filed this report.
In view of COVID-19 situation, the Delhi Police has requested the invitees to follow guidelines issued by Union Home Ministry and Health Ministry at all times while they are in the function area at Red Fort. Around 4,000 security personnel will be deployed for the ceremony. There will be a multi-layer security ring, including NSG snipers, allied SWAT commandos, and kite catchers around the monument. Flying of sub-conventional aerial platforms like UAVs, paragliders, and hot air balloons in the national capital have been prohibited till tomorrow due to security reasons. Delhi Police has issued a traffic advisory to ensure safe and smooth vehicular movement across the national capital on Independence Day. Anupam Mishra, AI News, Delhi.
Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison extended greetings to the people of India ahead of the country's Independence Day celebrations tomorrow. In his message, Mr. Morrison highlighted the elevation of bilateral relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership between India and Australia. He said India-Australia partnership is geared for the common good of the region and the global community.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today launched one-stop shop online portal Srijan that provides access to the vendors to take up items for indigenization. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Singh said this will help industry partners to play active role in the goal of self-reliance in defence sector. Pursuant to Atmanirbhar Bharat announcement, Department of Defence Production has developed an indigenization portal srijandefence.gov.in as opportunities for Make in India in defence. The minister said self-reliance in defence manufacturing has been envisioned not only as domestic requirement but also with export perspective and can be made possible with concerted efforts.
Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises MSME Minister Nitin Gadkari has stressed on the need for sector and industry-wide study of the ground-level issues by think tanks so that new policies may be formulated taking into account the recommendations. He said this while addressing a webinar in New Delhi today. Interacting with MSME member bodies and sectoral associations of FICCI, Mr. Gadkari said that all the sectors like plastic, garment, leather, pharmaceuticals and industries associated with them have unique problems. He requested FICCI and other industry associations to study ground-level problems of important sectors through various think tanks to solve their problems. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman today held the third review meeting of the Central Public Sector Enterprises CPSEs on capital expenditure for the current financial year. Speaking on the occasion, Ms. Sitharaman asked the concerned secretaries to closely monitor the performances of CPSEs. This is in order to ensure capital expenditure to the tune of 50% of capital outlay by the end of second quarter of the current financial year. She said that better performance of CPSEs can help the economy in a big way to recover from the impact of COVID-19.
India has welcomed the normalization of relations between UAE and Israel. Addressing a press briefing, spokesperson of Ministry of External Affairs Anurag Srivastav said that both UAE and Israel are key strategic partners of India. He said India continues its traditional support for the Palestinian cause and hopes to see early resumption of direct negotiations to find an acceptable two-state solution.
We welcome the full normalization of ties between UAE and Israel. Both nations are key strategic partners of India. India continues its traditional support for the Palestinian cause. We hope to see early resumption of direct negotiations to find an acceptable two-state solution.
Mr. Srivastav said that India has consistently supported peace, stability and development in West Asia. Earlier, in a joint statement released yesterday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan said they have agreed to the full normalization of relations between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. The spokesperson also said that both India and China remain engaged through diplomatic and military channels to ensure complete disengagement along the India-China border areas. He said early and complete disengagement of the troops along the line of actual control, LAC, and de-escalation from India-China border areas in accordance with bilateral agreement and protocols and full restoration of peace and tranquility was essential for the smooth overall development of bilateral relations.
Government today said that India has exported 23 lakh personal protective equipment PPE kit to 5 countries in 1 month. These countries are USA, UK, UAE, Senegal and Slovenia. Union Health Ministry said this has substantially aided India to position itself in the global export market of PPEs. In view of the strengthened domestic production capacity, last month government had permitted export of PPEs. The ministry said the Make in India spirit embedded in the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan has resulted in providing resilience and self-sufficiency to the country for various medical equipment, including PPEs. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. President Ramnath Kovind praises Corona warriors, says they went much beyond the call of duty to save lives and ensure essential services. President says India continues to engage with the world economy while maintaining its identity through Atmanirbharta. Nation gears up for the 74th Independence Day celebrations tomorrow. New Delhi welcomes normalization of relations between UAE and Israel, and in Rajasthan, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot wins motion of confidence through voice vote. For quick news updates, round the clock follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
India today conducted a record high of nearly 8,50,000 COVID tests in a single day. This has taken the cumulative tests to over 2,76 lakh. Union Health Ministry said World Health Organization WHO has advised that a country needs 140 tests per day per million population. The national average of India is 603 tests per day per million population, with focused efforts of the centre and effective implementation by the states and union territories. The ministry has advised the states and union territories to scale up the testing on a commensurate level with the prevailing positivity. A key component for the successful implementation of the test, track and treat strategy has been the continuously expanding network of diagnostic labs across the country. The network, as on today, consists of 1,451 labs, with 958 in the government sector and 493 private labs. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today inaugurated a mega blood donation camp dedicated to Corona warriors at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, AIIMS, New Delhi. On the occasion, the minister felicitated Corona warriors. He also felicitated the family members of the Corona warriors who lost their lives during the fight against COVID-19. Dr. Harshvardhan also presented certificates to the blood donors. Later, speaking to media, Dr. Harshvardhan said people and COVID warriors have fought strongly against COVID-19 pandemic and will win soon.
रोज थोड़ा थोड़ा छोटा छोटा कोई ऐसा अच्छा काम करते रहे जिससे हम दूसरे के चेहरे पर खुशी ला सकते हैं और दूसरों के आंख में आए आंसुओं को पहुंच सकते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि शायद स्वतंत्रता प्राप्ति के बाद स्वतंत्रता दिवस को मनाने का, उसके उल्लास को एंजॉय करने का इससे ज्यादा बेहतर तरीका नहीं हो सकता।
Dr. Vardhan said there has been no such day in previous months when recovery rate of a day is not better than its previous day and fatality rate of a day is not less than its previous day. Director of AIIMS, Dr. Randeep Guleria, was also present at the event.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah has tested negative for the coronavirus today. In a tweet, he thanked and expressed gratitude to all his well-wishers. He also thanked the doctors and paramedical staff of the hospital who attended on him during his treatment. Mr. Shah informed that on the advice of the doctors, he will stay in home isolation for a few more days. The Home Minister was earlier admitted in a hospital in the first week of this month after he tested positive for coronavirus. A total of 1,192 new confirmed cases of coronavirus have been reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 1,50,652. Delhi government has confirmed that over 1,35,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 790 people have recovered. 11 deaths were also reported in the national capital, taking the toll to 4,178. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the national capital is 11,366.
Puducherry reported 328 new cases of COVID-19 and recorded the deaths of 4 more patients today. Here's a report from our correspondent.
In the COVID-19 status report released today by the Puducherry Health Department, it is mentioned that 310 new cases are reported from Puducherry, 17 cases from Karaikal and 1 from Yanam region. 181 persons were discharged from the Union Territory of Puducherry. This includes 113 persons in Puducherry, 39 persons from Karaikal and 29 persons from Mahe region. Further, a total of 4 persons succumbed to the infection from Puducherry region itself. So far, 6,995 persons were infected by the virus, of which 4,009 were treated and discharged. 106 died, leaving 2,880 active cases here. Chandramohan, Air News, Puducherry.
In Mizoram, the state government has issued new guidelines to ensure strict social distancing amid the rise of positive cases for coronavirus infections in the state. As per the order, maximum 50 people are allowed in gatherings like marriage ceremony, funeral, memorial stone erection program and such functions.
In Meghalaya, to honor COVID warriors' selfless service and unflinching commitment towards nation safety, a military fusion band of the Assam Regimental Centre displayed their performance at Shillong as a precursor to the 74th Independence Day celebrations.
The Assam government has told all private educational institutions to offer 25% concession in monthly fees from the 1st of May till formal opening of schools. In a tweet, Education Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma said these institutions are saving substantial expenditure under various heads, including fuel and electricity charges. Educational institutes in the state are closed from the 16th of March due to COVID-19 pandemic.
Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan went into self-quarantine today after several senior officers who led the rescue operations at the air crash site in Karipur tested COVID positive.
Several ministers in the state cabinet also went on self-quarantine after 22 officials, including Malappuram district collector, tested COVID positive. The Chief Minister's office informed that Mr. Vijayan would skip the Independence Day parade tomorrow, and instead Tourism Minister Kadagampalli Surendran would hoist the national flag and deliver the Independence Day address. Governor Arif Muhammad Khan had headed the delegation to Karipur air crash site. The Raj Bhavan said that Mr. Khan had limited public interaction and was confined to his official residence mostly. Meanwhile, Kerala continued to report surge in COVID cases as 1,569 new cases were confirmed today. 10 deaths were also reported due to COVID, taking the death toll in the state to 139. Presently, there are 14,094 active COVID cases in Kerala. Mayush Shah for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
In Karnataka, there is a marginal improvement in the pandemic situation in Bengaluru urban district due to improved tracking, testing and treatment. The recovery rate has improved to 57.8% and the time taken to double the cases is now 21 days. The fatality rate has come down to 1.6%. The Brihat Bengaluru Mahanagar Palika Commissioner Manjunath Prasad spoke to AIR News on the intervention taken to break the chain of the pandemic in Bengaluru.
The growth rate is coming down and at the same time the fatality rate is also coming down. The reason is early intervention. We have taken a massive drive for house-to-house survey in order to identify the ILI and SARI cases. Honorable Prime Minister in his message opined about having this contact tracing done within 72 hours. Whereas in case of Bangalore, within 24 hours, we are tracing the primary contacts and the secondary contacts. As of today, we have nearly about 350 testing centers and we have been testing about 20,000 persons every day.
In Tamil Nadu, Governor Banwarilal Purohit has recovered from the viral disease, but the prominent playback singer S.P. Balasubramaniam, who is under treatment for COVID-19 in a private hospital in Chennai, has been shifted to the ICU as his condition has worsened. Our correspondent reports that the state has witnessed 5,890 new COVID-19 cases today, taking the total to more than 3,26,000.
The well-wishers and music lovers are wishing for the speedy recovery of the legendary playback singer S.P. Balasubramaniam. Meanwhile, the Southern Railway has extended the cancellation of the intra-state special trains till the end of this month. The state government has already suspended indefinitely the plying of its buses and other modes of public transport due to the prevailing pandemic condition. However, it is clarified that the Rajdhani special trains from Delhi to Chennai and back will be run as usual. Jai Singh, AIR News, Chennai.
Amid the coronavirus pandemic, schools across Maharashtra will be celebrating tomorrow's Independence Day event through online mode. Special guidelines have been issued for schools for the celebration. Our Mumbai correspondent has the details.
Maharashtra Schools Principals Association has advised schools to hold the flag hosting ceremony on campus with limited staff. Students must join the live stream of the event. Schools have also been advised to hold digital contests such as patriotic poetry recitation and debate competitions to increase awareness about Atmanirbhar Bharat. Meanwhile, the government has made an appeal to citizens to wave the national flag from their balconies to celebrate the occasion. While Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray will be attending his first flag hosting ceremony at the State Secretariat, similar ceremonies will also be held at district headquarters with all precautionary measures like maintaining social distancing and wearing masks. The state government has asked the protocol department to include corona warriors in this year's events along with the families of martyr soldiers and freedom fighters. Nisha Rani, AIR News, Mumbai.
Uttar Pradesh has become the #1 state in conducting COVID tests in the country. Cumulative COVID testing figures reached 36 lakh samples yesterday. The state is conducting around 1 lakh COVID tests daily. More from a correspondent.
With at least 9 districts in the state recording more than 100 new cases of COVID infection in the past 24 hours, the number of active cases in the state crossed 50,000 mark today. This comes after 4,600 new positive cases found in the state yesterday. The state now has 50,426 active cases and the list is topped by Lucknow, which has 7,188 active cases. Kanpur is on second place with more than 4,000 active cases. Maximum 652 new cases have been found in Lucknow yesterday. The COVID infection is spreading rapidly in eastern region of the state. Death toll in the state has reached 2,335 today after 59 more patients succumbed to the disease. More than 92,000 patients have been discharged following the recovery. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
The Jammu and Kashmir government today approved an additional ex gratia of 25 lakh rupees in case of death of healthcare workers due to COVID-19. According to an order issued in this regard, an ex gratia of rupees 25 lakh only shall be payable to the dependent members or legal heirs of healthcare workers. The classification of healthcare workers for this purpose shall be the same as provided by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Package, insurance scheme for health workers fighting COVID-19. In Rajasthan, the Congress government led by Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot today won the motion of confidence through voice vote. The House has been adjourned till the 21st of August, said Assembly Speaker C.P. Joshi. In a house of 200, the Congress party has 107 MLAs and the support of independents and allies. The BJP has 72 members. Legislative Affairs Minister Shanti Dhariwal introduced the motion for vote of confidence on behalf of the state government, which was debated in the House. Here's more from our correspondent.
After the government won motion of confidence, participating in the debate on the motion, leader of opposition Gulab Singh Kataria said that the political situation arose in the state in the last days won the result of the inter-dispute of the Congress party. While replying to the discussion, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot said that all the efforts to topple his government by conspiring have proved to be a failure. Former Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot said that all speculations have come to an end after the House passed a motion of confidence. Now MLAs of ruling party and independents will be able to return to their homes today who camped in hotels for the last 1 month. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
In Maharashtra, a policeman was martyred today in Gadchiroli when Naxals set up an ambush. More from a correspondent.
In Maharashtra, a policeman was martyred in Gadchiroli district when Naxals opened fire on him. A policeman named Dushyant Nandeshwar was martyred and Dinesh Bhosle was injured in the incident which took place at a grocery store at Kothi village of Bhamragat block in Gadchiroli. 2 to 3 Naxalites who were sitting in ambush shot at policeman. The mortal remains of martyred policeman will be brought in the Gadchiroli where his last rites will be performed with full state honors. With Jayant Nimgade from Gadchiroli, Dhananjay Wankhede for AR News, Nagpur.
Domestic equity benchmarks today plunged more than 1%, tracking negative global markets. A report from the Business World.
The 30-share BSE index Sensex settled 433 points, 1.13% lower at 37,877. The broader NSE Nifty slumped 122 points or 1.08% to close at 11,178. In the broader market at the BSE, the mid-cap fell 1.02% and the small cap slipped 0.61%. The rupee settled 6 paise lower at 74 rupees and 90 paise against the US dollar, tracking weak domestic equities. Arjun Chaudhary with Sanjay Kumar Singh for AIR News.
Most parts of Gujarat have received widespread rain during the past 24 hours. Surat and Navsari in South Gujarat and Anand and Vadodara in Central Gujarat received heavy to very heavy rainfall. More than 325 mm rain was recorded in Anand city and the adjoining areas, resulting in heavy water logging in low-lying areas. According to official sources, 13 NDRF teams have been deployed in rain-affected districts. Heavy water logging has been reported in several parts of Surat city following heavy rainfall and overflow of Khardi channel that carries water to the sea.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature shall be around 25 degrees Celsius and maximum around 32. Mumbai will experience generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Minimum temperature 25 degrees Celsius, maximum around 30. Chennai will have partly cloudy sky. The temperature here will hover between 25 and 33 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will witness generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature in the metropolis will be around 27 degrees Celsius and maximum should be around 33 degrees Celsius. On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature shall be around 26 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while the maximum should be around 35 degrees. City will have partly cloudy sky with the possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature will be around 21 degrees, while maximum should be around 35. City will have partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. Ladakh will have mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 18 and 32 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the temperature will hover between 19 and 39 degrees Celsius. It will experience partly cloudy sky. In Muzaffarabad, there will be partly cloudy sky with the possibility of rain or thunderstorm. The temperature will hover between 22 and 35 degrees Celsius. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. President Ramnath Kovind praises Corona warriors, says they went much beyond their call of duty to save lives and ensure essential services. President says India continues to engage with world economy while maintaining its identity through Atmanirbharta. Nation gears up for the 74th Independence Day celebrations tomorrow. New Delhi welcomes normalization of relations between UAE and Israel. And in Rajasthan, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot wins motion of confidence through voice vote. Well, for details of these stories and more, you may log on to newsonair.com. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.